What if a seemingly ordinary school day suddenly plunged into a nightmarish game of life and death, where every move is scrutinized and a single mistake means instant, horrifying elimination? Prepare to uncover the chilling truth behind humanity's deadliest game. One ordinary school day descends into an unimaginable nightmare when a strange red doll suddenly animates in the middle of class. It announces a deadly game: make a mistake, and you die instantly. As the students grapple with this terrifying reality, a single question echoes: who will survive until the end? Our story begins in Tokyo, following Shun Takahata, a brilliant high school student perpetually bored by life's lack of challenge. One day, weary of his mundane existence, he silently wishes for something exciting, something truly challenging. He could never have imagined his wish would manifest in such a terrifying form. Suddenly, a strange Daruma doll materializes in the classroom. Initially dismissed as a mere toy, it soon begins to move and announce a game. The game is red light, green light. When the doll turns its back and speaks, students can move. The instant it turns to face them, everyone must freeze. Initially, the students take it as a joke. But when two attempt to flee through the door, the doll swiftly turns. In a horrifying instant, their heads explode, splattering blood across the classroom. Everyone freezes in terror. The door is locked, escape is impossible until the game concludes. The students now grasp the brutal reality: a single movement means instant death. Panic erupts, some cry, others scream in terror. However, a student named Sate quickly identifies their predicament: they are trapped in a deadly version of the Japanese children's game, Daruma-san ga Karanda. The doll will turn its back and chant the phrase repeatedly. While it speaks, students can advance toward a button near the teacher's desk. But the moment the chant ends, the doll will pivot. Anyone still moving will instantly explode into thousands of small red balls. Fear grips the classroom, everyone is shaking and crying, unsure how to proceed. Satake, however, speaks up again, claiming to know a way to end the game. He points to a button on the Daruma doll's back, explaining that pressing it will stop the game. Spurred by this, one student takes the risk. As the doll slowly recites the game phrase, he sprints toward it, hoping to reach the button. The doll, however, anticipates his move, abruptly finishes its sentence, and turns. The student is still in motion. His head explodes like popcorn, splattering blood once more. Now, a new horror emerges: a timer on the doll's back, counting down with less than a minute remaining. Panic intensifies. Many students lose all control, rushing toward the doll in a desperate bid to press the button. But their ill-timed movements trigger the doll's swift turns, and heads explode in rapid succession. In mere seconds, almost the entire class is annihilated. With only 10 seconds left, only Shun and Satake remain. Realizing their dire situation, they decide to cooperate. Satake quickly crouches, instructing Shun to jump onto his back to reach the button. Shun executes a perfect leap, and with just 1 second left on the timer, he presses the button on the doll's back. The Daruma doll immediately ceases movement, calmly announcing the game's conclusion. Shun and Satake, relieved, smile and begin celebrating, believing they have survived together. But in the next horrifying moment, Satake's head explodes. Shun freezes in shock as the doll coldly declares that only the person who pressed the button wins. Since Shun was the one, he is the sole victor. Satake is dead. Shun stares in disbelief, surrounded by the mangled bodies of his classmates. He screams for help, hoping someone beyond the school walls might hear him. But the Daruma doll speaks again, its voice chilling: "I am the mouse, and the cat is coming." No one comprehends its meaning, yet it sounds like a cryptic clue for the next deadly game. Immediately after, the classroom door swings open. Shun's childhood friend, Ichika Akamoto, stands there, utterly terrified and shocked. Shun rushes to her, asking what happened. Ichika explains she played the identical Daruma game in her classroom, but when she pressed the button, all her classmates died instantly. Shun realizes the same fate befell his own class. Shaken, they decide to call the police at once. Shun quickly pulls out his phone, only to find no signal. Still hoping to escape, they attempt to leave the school for help, but discover every door is locked. The only open door leads to the gymnasium. With no alternative, Shun and Ichika step inside. The moment they enter, the door slams shut behind them, trapping them once more. This time, however, they are not alone. Several other students already stand in the center of the gym, some even donned in rat costumes. As Shun approaches, he notices strange Japanese characters inscribed on the floor. Reading them carefully, he deciphers the rules for the next game: give the bell to the cat to win. As everyone struggles to comprehend this cryptic instruction, a student in a rat costume warns the others to quickly put on the costumes, fearing unknown consequences for those who don't. Before anyone can fully process this, the gym floor suddenly opens, and a giant Maneki Miko statue, a colossal lucky cat, slowly ascends from the chasm. Simultaneously, music begins to play, and the enormous cat springs to life. Without warning, it lunges forward, swallowing a student in a rat costume whole. Screams erupt as students panic, scattering in all directions while the giant cat relentlessly pursues them around the gym. At one point, the giant cat moves toward Ichika. Shun fears she's about to be devoured, but strangely, the cat doesn't attack her. Instead, it abruptly turns its head, stretching its long, spring-like neck across the gym to swallow several other students in rat costumes. As Ichika flees across the court, she spots a bell rolling on the floor. Simultaneously, Shun makes a crucial observation: a basketball hoop hangs from a collar around the cat's neck. Suddenly, the cryptic message on the floor makes sense: give the bell to the cat. Shun quickly alerts everyone to the bell. A basketball team student grabs it and asks Ichika to pass it to him. He throws the bell with perfect aim toward the hoop, but just before it enters, the giant cat blocks the shot, then hurls the bell back with immense force, crushing the student against the wall and killing him instantly. Afterward, the cat stares directly at Shun. Yet again, it doesn't attack him. Instead, it turns and devours another student in a rat costume. In that moment, Shun finally understands: the cat is hunting mice. He quickly shouts for everyone to remove their rat costumes. The students hastily comply, believing they are finally safe. But the cat suddenly resumes its rampage, now attacking everyone, regardless of costume. The gym plunges back into chaos as students frantically try to escape. Amidst the panic, Ichika falls to the floor right beside the bell. They notice the timer: only 3 minutes remain. The giant cat slowly approaches Ichika, opening its enormous mouth to devour her. But just before it bites, Shun suddenly appears, now wearing a rat costume. He dashes in front of the cat, moving erratically to distract it, and the creature shifts its pursuit to him instead. As he runs, Shun shouts for someone to throw the bell, but after witnessing the basketball player's fate, everyone is too terrified to risk death. Then, something bizarre occurs. Because Shun is wearing the rat costume, he suddenly hears a voice, the cat's, and somehow understands it. Shun listens intently, realizing the cat repeatedly complains of an itchy back, wanting someone to scratch it so it can relax and fall asleep. Understanding the cat's bizarre request, Shun quickly runs behind it and leaps onto its back. Grabbing onto ropes, he begins scratching the cat's back. Surprisingly, the giant cat enjoys it, ceasing its attack and asking for more. Knowing he can't do it alone, Shun calls for help. Ichika is the first to join him on the cat's back, soon followed by other students. Together, they continue scratching the cat. After some time, the giant cat finally drifts to sleep. This is their chance. Shun picks up the bell, preparing to throw it into the hoop. But the other students grow nervous, recalling the first game where only one person survived. They begin arguing over who should throw the bell, their loud voices waking the cat. In a swift, brutal move, the giant cat slices two students apart. There's no time to make it sleep again. Thinking quickly, Shun devises a new plan. He grabs a torn basketball and asks Ichika to follow him to the locker room with the bell. Moments later, they return. The bell is now hidden inside the torn basketball, wrapped in a mouse costume. Shun and Ichika approach the cat from two different sides, creating confusion about who will throw the bell. As Shun runs, he feigns a throw with the basketball, leading everyone to believe it's the real attempt. The cat focuses on Ichika, preparing to block her shot. But this was all part of Shun's deception. At the last moment, he reveals the bell hidden inside the ball and throws it toward the hoop. Sadly, he misses, the bell falls just short of the basket. Everyone believes the game is lost, but suddenly, a tough student named Amaya leaps down from above the cat. He snatches the ball and slams it into the hoop like a basketball dunk. The bell goes in. They win the challenge at the very last second. The giant cat immediately deactivates. A few seconds later, it reactivates to announce the winners, Amaya, Shun, and Ichika. But Shun notices something unsettling: none of the other students are moving. Looking closer, he sees Amaya walking around with an iron bar, systematically knocking every student unconscious. The guy has completely lost his mind. Amaya slowly approaches Shun and Ichika, uttering a chilling declaration: God has chosen them, and only the chosen deserve to survive. Ichika angrily retorts that he's insane and shouldn't dare compare himself to Shun. Enraged, Amaya advances toward Ichika, but Shun quickly steps in front of her to intervene. At that precise moment, the giant cat releases a cloud of gas into the room. Within seconds, all three lose consciousness and collapse. Meanwhile, strange events unfold globally. News channels report the mysterious disappearance of numerous young people, coinciding with the sudden appearance of colossal floating cubes in the skies above many cities. Their origin remains unknown. Inside one of these cubes, Shun slowly regains consciousness. He sees another student, Taisei, an old schoolmate who had transferred years ago, along with two other students, Taira and Ta. They explain they also survived the Daruma game and the giant cat challenge at their respective schools. During their conversation, Shun notices something peculiar: everyone in the room has a surname starting with the letter T. This leads him to suspect survivors are grouped alphabetically. Shun then remembers Ichika's surname, Okamoto, and a wave of worry washes over him. She must be in another room, possibly with Amaya. The door is locked, rendering Shun helpless. Hoping to be heard, Shun loudly knocks, but Taira, an arrogant genius, stops him. Taira dismisses his efforts, stating no one is coming to save them. He then activates a hologram screen, displaying global news reports about the giant cubes. The truth dawns on them: they are trapped inside one of these cubes, and their only option is to await the next game. Suddenly, a knock sounds at the door. To everyone's surprise, the locked door slowly unlocks itself, and four small Kokeshi dolls enter the room. One doll invites Taira to play the next game. Confident in his intellect, Taira immediately accepts without hesitation. The dolls then explain the rules of Kagome Kagome, a traditional game. One player sits blindfolded in the center while spirits circle them, singing. When the song stops, the player has 10 seconds to guess which spirit stands behind them. A wrong guess means death. Taira, believing the game will be easy, sits down and dons the blindfold. The dolls begin their strange song, circling him. But when the music abruptly stops, Taira grows nervous. He quickly guesses, but his answer is wrong. One doll opens its eyes and fires a strange beam of light at him. Taira instantly loses control of his body, his head repeatedly slamming into the floor until his skull shatters. After his death, the dolls invite Ta to play. Terrified, Ta initially refuses, but the dolls inform her that refusal means death regardless. With no other choice, she sits down for the game. When it's her turn to guess, Ta is so overwhelmed by fear that she takes too long to answer. 10 seconds pass, and she is immediately disqualified. In a panic, she tries to flee, but the Kokeshi dolls surround her. This time, instead of the beam, each doll grabs one of her legs and pulls in opposite directions. Her body is torn apart. Now, only Shun and Taisei remain. The dolls invite Taisei to play next, but Shun, seeing her paralyzed by fear, quickly steps forward and offers to play in her stead. Shun sits in the center, blindfolded. The dolls begin circling him, singing their eerie song. When the song stops, Shun waits, carefully listening to every sound. But before he can answer, one doll declares, "Time is up." At that precise moment, Shun loudly shouts the name of the doll behind him. The dolls insist time is up, but Shun calmly explains that he recorded everything on his phone. The recording shows only 6 seconds had passed before his answer, meaning he guessed within the allowed time. Curious, the dolls ask how he knew. Shun explains that in previous rounds, the dolls maintained consistent positions, and the same doll always announced the time limit. He simply waited to hear that specific voice, using it to pinpoint the doll's location. Since he answered correctly within 10 seconds, the dolls suddenly disintegrate into dust, leaving a small key on the floor. With no further obstacles, Shun and Taisei pick up the key and exit the room together. The moment they step into the hallway, they witness another student frantically running toward them, also holding a key, pursued by a Kokeshi doll. The boy quickly shouts a warning: this doll only attacks solitary individuals. If they hold hands and stay together, it will leave them alone. The three quickly link hands. The doll approaches, confirms their unity, then calmly walks away to search for another isolated student. Shun's group now possesses 2 keys. As they navigate the cube's long corridors, they suddenly hear screaming. Rushing toward the sound, they discover Ichika, also being chased by the same solitary doll. Without hesitation, Shun releases the other's hands and sprints directly toward her. At the last second, he grabs Ichika, pulling her close just before the doll can seize her. A little later, in another hallway, 2 other students discover a bizarre sight: a giant wooden head embedded in the wall. A timer ticks on its forehead, and below it are 7 keyholes. When Shun's group arrives, they see these 2 students also possess 2 keys. Counting them all, they realize they now have 4 keys but still need 3 more. The timer shows just over 2 minutes remaining. Panic sets in, but suddenly, 3 keys are thrown onto the floor before them. A moment later, Ameya appears, accompanied by another student he had used to trick the lonely doll. Now they finally have all 7 keys. But before proceeding, Ameya casually shoves the other student aside. He then calmly requests to join the group, stating they all need the keys to advance. With no other option, the group accepts him. They insert all 7 keys into the wooden head. Immediately, the wall opens, revealing a tunnel leading deeper into the cube. Before they pass through, the giant head instructs them to change their clothes. It then disappears, and the group proceeds through the tunnel. On the other side, they emerge into a snow-covered world. The ground suddenly trembles, revealing the cause: a colossal polar bear snowboarding down the mountain, performing tricks like a professional athlete. After its absurd display, the bear stops before them, announcing the next challenge. It declares its hatred for lies, stating this game will test their honesty. The rules are simple: it will ask questions, and everyone must answer truthfully. If someone lies, the bear will detect it. The group must then correctly identify the liar to advance to the next stage. The bear begins with an easy question: what is your favorite food? The group relaxes, believing the game will be simple. Everyone answers. But immediately afterward, the bear sniffs the air, declaring it smells a lie and someone broke the rule. The group has 2 minutes to identify the liar. After a heated argument, most accuse the students Shun and Ichika had previously saved. Without hesitation, the giant bear swings its massive paw, crushing the boy's body instantly. The bear proceeds to the next question: do you like Shun? Ichika and Taisei affirm their liking for him, as does Ameya. But after all answers, the bear announces another lie. Ichika immediately points at Ameya, accusing him of trying to kill them earlier. As they argue, Shun ponders something peculiar: why would someone lie, knowing death is the consequence? The bear suddenly laughs, remarking that Shun is finally understanding. Then, the bear reveals a shocking truth: one of its servants is hidden among them, posing as human and lying to ensure others are eliminated. Hearing this, the two students from the other school begin to speculate. They suddenly accuse Taisei, reasoning that Shun, Ichika, and Ameya all attended the same school and knew each other before the games, while Taisei joined them later from a different school, making her the likely imposter. Shun and Ichika quickly attempt to defend her, but the others ignore them. At the last second, they vote against Taisei. Her body is instantly crushed into a pile of blood. With only a few players remaining, the bear prepares its next question. But before it can speak, Shun steps forward, declaring he knows the true traitor. The bear pauses, looking at him with curiosity. Shun then makes a shocking accusation: the polar bear itself is the real liar. The bear looks confused. Shun explains his reasoning, stating Taisei inadvertently helped him figure it out before her death. When her blood splashed onto the bear's hand, it washed away some white paint on its fur, revealing black fur underneath. This meant the creature was never a polar bear, it was a black bear masquerading as something else. Since the bear lied about its own color, Shun realized a crucial implication: if it lied about that, then perhaps everything else it said was also a lie. This meant there was never any traitor among them, the bear was simply manipulating them into accusing and killing each other. Enraged, the demon bear lunges into the air, attempting to crush the group with its body. But Shun and the others swiftly evade, and the bear plunges directly into a nearby hot spring. The boiling water scalds the creature from within, causing it to scream in agony as its body begins to melt. Finally, the monster accepts defeat. Before disintegrating, it directs the survivors to the location of their next challenge. Soon after, Shun, Ichika, and Ameya arrive at the new location, greeted by another group of strange dolls. The dolls announce the final challenge: kick the can, a sinister version of hide-and-seek. The rules are explained: one player will be chosen as Akuma, the demon who searches for others. Before starting, Akuma must retrieve a can placed high above and position it in the center of a ground circle. While Akuma does this, the other players must quickly hide. If they remain hidden until sunset, they win. Akuma also has a path to victory: if Akuma finds someone, they must shout their name and step on the can. Once this is done, the person is captured and locked in a prison cell until the game ends. However, there's another rule: captured players can be saved. If a free player manages to kick the can, all prisoners are released. But here's the terrible catch: the can contains a hidden explosive. The moment it's kicked, it will detonate, instantly killing the rescuer. In summary, survivors must hide until sunset, while Akuma must capture 3 people and prevent the last survivor from kicking the can. After explaining the intricate rules, one doll produces several wooden sticks from its mouth to draw lots, determining who will become Akuma. Everyone waits nervously. The result is revealed: Ameya, the most dangerous and unstable person among them. The other survivors freeze in terror. The game is about to begin, but the moment the dolls give the signal, Ameya abruptly kicks one of the players into the can, knocking it down before anyone can even hide. He then picks up the can, places it in the center of the circle, and begins hunting the others. He quickly locates the 2 students from the other school hiding nearby. They attempt to fight back, attacking him together, but Ameya is far too strong. Even 2 against 1, they are easily defeated. Ameya captures them and locks them inside a prison cell. Not far away, Ichika secretly observes everything. But as she watches Ameya step on the can, she accidentally makes a slight movement. Ameya immediately notices, pinpointing her location and realizing Shun must be nearby. Knowing Ameya is coming, Shun quickly ties a rope to a heavy object and begins climbing down toward the ground, aiming for the can. Meanwhile, Amaya rushes to the building where he spotted Ichika, pounding on the door to get inside. Ichika quickly grasps a crucial fact: if they stay together, both will be caught. She decides to buy Shun time, quietly leaving the room and descending to confront Amaya herself. But instead of shouting her name and going to the can, Amaya simply knocks her unconscious and continues his relentless search for Shun. When Amaya reaches the top, he finds only the rope Shun used to escape. Below, Shun realizes Amaya will likely guard the can, so he searches for a new hiding spot. After some time, Amaya shouts to him, feigning friendliness, claiming he's already captured 3 people and the game is essentially over, offering to work together to survive. But Shun knows he's lying. While hiding, Shun discovers an old suit of plate armor. As the sun slowly begins to set, Shun emerges from hiding, clad in a heavy armor. His plan is to use it to protect himself from the explosion when he kicks the can. However, the armor is extremely heavy, severely impeding his movement. Still, Shun slowly advances toward Amaya. At one point, he even drops his sword, appearing utterly helpless. Seeing this, Amaya laughs and approaches. Since he can only capture someone after seeing their face, Amaya removes Shun's helmet, mocking his futile plan. Confident of victory, Amaya turns toward the can. But suddenly, he feels something pulling him back, a chain attached to his waist. Amaya realizes the truth: this was Shun's plan all along. Before leaving his hiding spot, Shun had secretly tied one end of the chain to the armor. When Amaya removed his helmet, Shun quickly wrapped the other end around Amaya's waist. Now, Amaya cannot reach the can. With no other option, Shun suddenly leaps off the cliff edge into the sea, dragging Amaya with him. Amaya struggles desperately to avoid falling. The moment Shun touches the water, he quickly slips out of the heavy armor and climbs back up the wall. Meanwhile, Amaya is left struggling to pull the heavy armor out of the water. By the time Amaya climbs back up, Shun is already sprinting toward the can. Exhausted, Shun gathers his last reserves of strength and dashes forward. Amaya finally frees himself and gives chase, but Shun reaches the can first. He kicks it. Everyone covers their heads, bracing for the explosion, but nothing happens. A few seconds later, the sky darkens. The dolls reappear, announcing Shun as the winner. They then reveal the truth: there was never any bomb inside the can, they merely claimed so to heighten the game's excitement. Amaya, furious and humiliated, shouts, believing he's about to be eliminated. But the dolls calmly state that the entire challenge was just a game, and no one will die now. As a reward for surviving this far, the dolls offer each of them a popsicle, instructing them to eat it before leaving. After all they endured, Shun and Ichika sit together, discussing the future while eating their popsicles. As he finishes, Shun notices writing on his stick. He happily shows it to Ichika, thinking it's a reward, but sees her crying. He then reads the message on her popsicle stick: "You are eliminated." At that moment, the dolls speak again. They explain that each challenge tested different skills, intelligence, courage, teamwork, but ultimately, luck decides everything. Each popsicle stick reveals a player's final fate. Shun looks at his own stick, realizing he was the lucky one. He will survive, but instead of Ichika, Amaya will return to the real world with him. As soon as their fates are sealed, the dolls fire a laser beam at Ichika and the other eliminated students. Their bodies vanish, leaving behind only traces of their souls. With the final game concluded, Shun and Amaya are lifted into one of the giant cubes suspended above Tokyo. Around the world, people who witnessed 2 students surviving the deadly games begin to call them the children of God. According to the strange rules of this new world, one will follow the path of destruction, becoming a powerful god, while the other will follow the path of death, becoming a god of death. And that is where the story ends.